What's going on, Vol fans? Happy Sunday and happy Victory Sunday to you. Hope you're enjoying that 72-14 victory yesterday, and I'm going to put a bow on that because then after this video, of course, we got to get our sights set to Georgia. On today's program, I'm going to give you my winners and losers for yesterday's win against ETSU. I want to start by giving a little bit of a disclaimer, though. If someone is labeled a loser on today's list, it doesn't mean I hate them. It doesn't mean I think that they suck, and it doesn't mean that I think that I could do better. It just means I'm kind of a hard grader for those games against teams like ETSU, and their stock might be a little bit down compared to where it was before that game. Speaking of that game, and speaking of next week's game against Georgia, do you want me to go live for the Georgia game? If I can get 50 subs off today's video, I can prove to my bosses that Vol Nation is ready for us to do some live watch parties. We've been talking about it, going back and forth about it, and they basically just said, Joey, we need you to prove it to us, okay? So if you have not subscribed, do that for me today, and if we can get 50 subs on today's video, I'll go live for the Georgia game this upcoming Saturday. My number one winner for the Week 2 win against ETSU is none other than one Mr. Mike Matthews. Look, I'm a massive Mike Matthews fan, and we went into this season saying that if this team was going to have success offensively, if this team was going to have success in the passing game, a lot of that was going to have to be on the shoulders of Joey Aguilar, but also he was going to need somebody to be able to catch the ball. And Mike Matthews proved yesterday that he could be that somebody, okay? This guy, 5-star coming out of high school, all the expectation in the world, didn't have a great season last season, but was dealing with injuries, was in and out of the lineup right throughout the entirety of it. 90 yards the entirety of 2024. He eclipsed that in yesterday's game alone. He almost eclipsed that in one pass from yesterday's game alone. And that's what this passing game needs. That's what this team needs, is for some guy to go up there and say, that ball is mine, I'm going to make a play on it. Mike Matthews did that, and I'm looking for him to continue to do that through the entirety of this season, because if he could step up and be that guy we all thought he could be, then he's going to be something really special. My Week 2 winner, my second of my Week 2 winners. Let's talk about Boo Carter. I know we talked about him yesterday in my instant reaction. Absolutely loved what I saw yesterday out of him when it came to special teams. We all knew that this guy was going to be really special coming out of high school with what he was able to do in Chattanooga. Like, we all knew what a talent this guy was. And we all knew that when he touched the ball, most likely special things happened. And we've seen over the last week or so his leash get a little bit longer with Coach Heupel, earn a little bit more trust from Coach Heupel. Obviously, we saw him in the special teams game yesterday. We didn't see him in that Week 1. And I think he proved to everybody, look, I know we went through some things over this summer, but if you want your best out of your special teams unit, I need to be out there on the field. Special teams is such a interesting part of this game. It's incredibly underrated, but if you can have yourself a punt returner that gives you positive yards, he averaged 23 yards of return yesterday. If that can be consistent, that can be a game changer. I've given you 2, okay? Now I just need you to give me 1 in the comment section down below. Name a winner from yesterday's win against ETSU in the comment section. I've given you Boo. I've given you Mike. You can give me those as well. Or if you think it's someone different, let me know in the comment section. Joey Aguilar is my 3rd winner from yesterday's win. I just continue to be so incredibly impressed with what this guy is able to do on the football field. It is so hard to run this offense. And we've talked about that a lot on this channel. And you know how I know it's hard to run this offense? Because the last 2 quarterbacks we've had couldn't really do it. They didn't maximize the potential that a Josh Heupel system offers. Joey Aguilar's doing that. 23 for 31 yesterday, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns. I can really only remember 1, maybe 2 bad balls. He tried to hit Braylon Staley, but missed him high. And in those, 8 incompletions, there were 3 pretty bad drops as well. 2 from Deshaun Bishop, 1 from Miles Kitselman. There was 1 Braylon Staley could have had as well. That easily could have been 27 for 31. But what I'm most impressed about with Joey every single time. It just seems he's consistently on time. He consistently makes the right reads. He consistently makes the right throws. And what I also love is that big goose egg at the interceptions down there. That was the big talk. Joey's going to turn the football over. Joey's going to do this. Joey's going to do that. And you had that mixed with the fact that Josh Heupel really has not had a problem with turnovers in his system so far at Tennessee. One of those is going to prevail over the other. Fortunately, it's the latter as of right now. That needs to continue to be the case. Arion Carter is my fourth winner because I know it's hard to in a 72-point game. I wanted to have at least one defensive player on here, okay? And I felt like that deserved to be Arion Carter. I just love watching this guy play football. I love the violence that he tends to play with. I love the leadership that he shows as well. Now, were there some guys on the defensive side of the ball yesterday that probably had some better games, had more tackles? Yeah, for sure. But Arion Carter is the leader that this team needs, okay? This team lost a lot of players last year. A ton of production, especially on the defensive side of the ball. A ton of really good production. Arion Carter was one of the few guys that you got back that you said, thank your lucky stars. He's going to be back in the Tennessee Volunteers uniform. He's the heartbeat of this defense. He might be the heartbeat and the leader of this team. Arion Carter had a great day yesterday. Can't wait to see what he does against Georgia. Star Thomas is my fifth and final winner. He's really, I don't want to say surprised me, but I think going into this year, everybody's expectations were almost the lowest for Star Thomas, and he's exceeded everybody's expectations, including mine. 12 carries, 69 yards, 5.8 yards a carry, and 3 rushing touchdowns. I said this yesterday, but what stands out most for me when talking about Star is the patience that he runs the football with. Okay, he's never too quick to hit a hole. He always lets his blockers go out in front of him. He always waits for a hole to open up. And what that shows me is this guy's played a lot of football. And that's the thing that he has over guys like Deshaun Bishop and Peyton Lewis that they can't do anything about. They can't change the fact that he's played almost 2 or 3 times the amount of football that they have. So he has that much more experience. He's that much more experienced as a runner in the college football game. Love what he was able to do. Punched it in the end zone right a few times, 3 total yesterday. This 3-headed tailback that we've got going right here at Tennessee with Deshaun, Peyton Lewis, and Star, I really love it. Make sure you guys got me followed on Twitter. You can find me at Joey Petersen 8. Right now I'm sitting at 1,204 followers. I would love to get to 1.3K as quickly as I can, okay? All you need to do is click that link I put in the comment section down below and give me a follow. Okay, it's free to do so. I cover the Vols on Twitter far more than I do on YouTube. I probably tweet about them multiple times a day. We give you 1 video a day, which is still great. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but make sure you also got me followed on Twitter. My 3 losers, okay, these ones I'm not going to go in as quite of depth as I did on the winners, and there won't be any stats gauge for David Sanders. David Sanders didn't play yesterday, and I don't love that. And he's not a loser because he didn't play. It's an injury. He can't help it, right? And Josh Heupel even talked about that in the press conference. I think they came into the week thinking he was going to play, but he didn't quite progress or get as healthy, I think, as they wanted him or needed him to go against ETSU. But why he's a loser in my hands is because he's going to have to make his first collegiate start against the Georgia Bulldogs, if he even plays. And I love David. I think he's going to be a hell of a player. I think his future is so bright at the University of Tennessee. But the fact that he does have to play his first ever game in college football against Georgia, it scares me a little bit. Number 2, Deshaun Bishop's hands. That is our second loser. Deshaun, would you get some gloves, please? If you don't have any, I'm more than happy to go on Amazon right now, order you some, and ship them to your door. To ship them to wherever you live. Maybe it's in the fort. I don't know. If you're at Stokely, I got that address. But we need to get you some gloves, my guy. Because I'm sick of you being wide open on a wheel route or a screen and it going right through your hands. And I think that's kind of why we saw a decrease in his snaps, especially towards the end of the second quarter and in the third quarter. It's because he didn't really catch the ball when it was thrown his way. He was making mistakes. Now he put off some awesome runs. That first play of the game was absolutely electric. That's why I don't have Deshaun Bishop as a loser. I just have Deshaun Bishop's hands. The pass rush is my final loser. And look, I said this in the disclaimer. I'm a hard grader when it comes to a game against ETSU. Sure, you had the sack from Josh Josephs. You had the sack from Tyree West. That was fantastic. But I look at an opponent like ETSU, and maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but I'm expectant of a little bit more. Especially because of the fact that you look at what you did against Syracuse, who is a better opponent the week prior, and you got 7 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. I'm looking for something similar to that. Okay? Now, you played well. You pressured the quarterback a decent bit. You didn't let anything big happen over the top. The only touchdown they scored, or the first touchdown they scored, was because of a botched play by the offense at the end of the first half. The second touchdown they scored was garbage time against guys who were playing high school football 365 days ago. But still, I would have liked to see a little bit more pressure on the quarterback than I did. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you let me know in the comment section, though. I asked you to name a winner. Now it's your turn to name a loser down below. Honorable mention, Chris Brazzell. He played a phenomenal game. I have loved what I've seen from Chris Brazzell. Not as an honorable mention for a loser, but an honorable mention for a winner. But you let me know loser down below. That's going to do it. Make sure you got me on social media. You can find me on Twitter. Find me on Instagram at Joey Petersen 8 on both of those platforms. Made it easy for you. Put those links in the comment section and description of today's video.